So I am attempting to do all things from a place of love and to self-soothe myself back to a place of love and okayness as quickly as possible. And because that's sort of the mission right now, I am really observing what goes on and what pulls me away from love. We had to take Louis, our 14-year-old Maltese best bud, to the vet yesterday for fluids. He had to stay for as many hours as they were open. And when we picked him up, we got sent home with an IV and some injections to give and a long list of to-dos. And he's 14, so this is not new, but this is not great. And it's hard, right? And it's hard for both of us. And I was not necessarily modeled, neither John or I come from a home where the marriages we saw were the marriages we wanted. And so sometimes, always, with every couple, right, like we're creating things on the fly. And the choices that we make and the ways that we show up for each other can lead us in a better direction or in a tougher one. And a friend I had in my 20s had an admirable marriage. And I remember her telling me that sometimes one of you feels weak and the other is strong and gets you through. And sometimes it goes the other way. But that also in marriage there are times when neither person really has anything to give, when both people are feeling it, going through it. But that marriage is being able to sit on that couch together and know that you'll see it through. Know that you're there with very little to give, but you're there together for each other, always. And that little nugget helped so much in thinking about the sort of life that I wanted to build with a potential partner in the future. So, that's your backstory. Here, today, Louis having kidney issues, Louis having eating issues. He's been up and down. We were up at 1, we were up at 3, we were up at 5. We've been up since 5. And it's good, right? He needs to go to the bathroom. He wants to go for a walk. He is hungry. Like, this is what we want. It's also not super convenient timing. And I am up, and so I handle it. John woke up through the night plenty of times, rolled over and kissed me, like, was a delightful and supportive human. But as I'm up and alone and worried about my dog and unsure what to feed him, my shadow brain, my wounded inner child, whatever we're gonna call this not productive part of my brain, is spinning and is like, I wish John was here. Why isn't John being more supportive? Why are you here alone? And I start to feel sad. And then I come back to love. If I were to walk into that bedroom right now and say, hey, I feel alone, I need you, that man would be up on his feet in a moment. So one, if I need support in my marriage and my relationship, I just have to ask for it. We don't have to build up the story in our brains about the lacking. We just have to come from a place of integrity and ask for what's up. Hey, I know that it's 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm feeling lonely and Louis is awake. Would you like to make breakfast? I'm sure he would also like to sleep, but man, he would be up to make some breakfast. And that brings me back to this space of, just acknowledging when neither of you have a ton to give. And then finding the grace and the step with each other. Because when I shifted out of my lack perspective and came back to love, man, I had 2 hours with my dog this morning. We sat outside and I rubbed his tummy. We went for little walks while it was still nice out. Like, the dog who doesn't feel good, I've actually had such an amazing little morning. So there's nothing missing. Just like there's no sense of lack in how my partner shows up for me. That gets created in the stories. And if there ever is an issue, if I can communicate it from a place of love, from a place of, I'm scared right now and I easily feel lonely, so I might need a little extra attention, or I would appreciate you making some pancakes, whatever. If I can name the need, I have a better chance of my partner being able to support me through it. But if I can also empathize with what we are both going through and fill my own cup when able, right? All it took for me was to acknowledge where my brain was going, to recognize the untruth of the statement it was creating, and to find the gratitude style practice for what was actually occurring. If I'm mindful in the moment, I'm up cutting strawberries and In-N-Out patties and hand feeding them to my dog. Like, it's a great morning. So, all this to say that we're ideally in these partnerships, in these relationships, to better our lives. Who you choose as your partner is essential on the journey towards sparking joy, for sure. That being said, if we have any people-pleasing, codependent, abandonment, there are more, any tendencies like this, it's easy for those without our knowledge to show up even in the best partnership, especially when things are hard, when there is already a presence of anxiety or fear or lack of control. And particularly if we were not modeled healthy conflict resolution, if we were modeled behavior that was, maybe more based in bickering or talking shit or whatever, not great feelings, then that is like where we snap back to when our inner child is activated, when our fear center is activated, right? But this is all lower vibrational stuff. If I create a rift with my partner out of nowhere, like John's gonna be like, you talked about what? Like, he's not even a part of this. My brain is doing the work. We have to let people in who are worthy of being let in. We have to fill our own cups. We have to be able to ask for what we need without making someone else feel shitty. We have to be able to find that place of okayness and love in here. Because I'm going to put an IV in my dog for the very first time today, and that's going to be fucking rattling. And what I need is a strong partnership, is to know that even though we're both like, we got this together. We've always got this together. And when we don't, we're still not going anywhere. That's marriage. And being able to acknowledge the times when I am tending towards a marriage direction different than the one I intend is a huge step in that acknowledging and observing pattern we're trying to create, so that we can rewire these little grooves and keep building the marriage that is in existence.